cool like that. I'm cool like that.
All right, the big announcement today, USC returns to ESPNLA after a short hiatus. Everybody's back where they're supposed to be. The men's football games, the men's basketball games, the women's basketball games will all be heard here on ESPNLA. And Andy, I don't even know if you know this, but our next guest, Eric Mussleman, his dad, Bill Mussleman, was a long time. Bill's no longer with us, passed away several years ago, but is a longtime basketball coach like Eric and recruited one Michael Thompson to the University of Minnesota. And Coach Michael, I texted with him this morning. Michael claims he used to bounce you on his knee when you were a toddler. Is he telling the truth, Eric?
That would be the truth, John, yes. And Michael's probably got plenty of other stories about how he was going from the Bahamas, or really it was Bahamas, Miami High School, Florida, and then to the University of Minnesota. I don't know if my dad even told him there was any snow up in Minnesota, but that is true. I was really, really young when Michael was playing for the Golden Gophers, so that's a true story, John.
Well, it's great to have you here, Coach. And for people who don't know, Eric is a basketball lifer. He, after going to college himself at a great basketball school, University of San Diego, Eric's been a coach since he was 23. He has coached in high school, college, won several CBA championships, used to coach the Warriors, used to coach the Sacramento Kings. Most recently, he has been coaching at the University of Arkansas. And when I saw that they got you, Eric, that USC got you, I thought, what a great hire. But why did you want to do it? You obviously can coach anywhere. You've proven that over a lifetime. What attracted you to this particular job?
Yeah, John, I just think that one, the brand, the USC brand, having grown up in San Diego, California for the majority of my life, USC, UCLA, those are such strong national brands. And then, everything is timing in life too. And this is my third stint in Los Angeles, having coached the Lakers G League team, the Defenders at one point. My first job out of college was selling tickets as an account executive with the LA Clippers, which at that time was really, really hard ticket to sell.
I bet. That's learning how to sell the hard way. Yeah.
Did you used to create those ads playing up the other teams playing the Clippers?
Yeah. Hey, you want to see Michael Jordan? Buy these tickets.
Andy, that's what happened. That's when those mini packets went, you could sell a mini packet, an 8-game mini packet, but it was super hard to sell a season ticket package. But then, it's my daughter's going into her freshman year of high school. So we just felt like it aligned from a family perspective. It aligned for what Jen Cohen, the athletic director, was looking to do with the men's basketball program, and you see what Coach Gottlieb's done with on the women's side and the excitement, and so for us it was really great timing. I think that USC going into the Big Ten had a huge factor in the decision as well. Having coached in the SEC, I kind of felt like from afar that the two best conferences were the SEC and the Big Ten, and so certainly didn't want to leave what we perceived as one of the top two conferences and not continue to be aligned with one of the better conferences in college basketball. So I think really you guys, both of, all those factors were in play. And then, my wife has worked in LA for NFL Network and,
sure.
and has been, in that field and has a lot of friends out here as well. So a lot of factors into the decision, and we're really, really excited about the possibilities with the USC Trojans.
For those of you who don't know, what Eric was referring to is he's married to Danielle Sargent, who is a sportscaster, and now she's pretty much a mom and Eric's wife, and very visible wherever Eric goes. But a lot of you know Danielle from her work on Fox. Go ahead, Andy.
You just mentioned Jen Cohen's vision for USC basketball, and that being one of the things that sold you on the job. Can you share what her vision is for the program moving forward? Yeah,
great question, Andy. I mean, I think that, it's probably no different with men's basketball as any sport on campus. She really wants to win at a high level. She wants the student athletes to get an incredible experience. And then you add in the academic piece to USC. When I got the job here, until you're sitting in the chair, you just never know. But a lot of the transfers that we were heavily recruiting at Arkansas, we were no longer able to recruit them based on the academic standards at Southern Cal. And so that was a learning experience, especially in the first, 2 weeks on the job. But it also is, the players that we're getting here have high academics. It kind of weeds out some things that maybe players that aren't as focused academically, would be the same players that might not be focused on the floor. And so I think it does help in a lot of ways with your roster building, although it limits your pool on who you would be recruiting as well. And then for us, geographically, it was a new situation on who we're recruiting as well. When you're at Arkansas, you're really recruiting Texas hard. You're recruiting Dallas extremely hard. And then obviously you get a job at USC, and so you've got to recruit the area. LA's got so many great players. And so that was discussed with Jen as well. What are your connections in the Los Angeles area and AAU, high school? All those things become important as well. And, I think from a geographical standpoint, having coached the Warriors, the Kings, having gone to college at the University of San Diego, having worked for the Clippers, having done the Lakers G League team, when you look from the top of the state to the bottom of the state to I've coached at all those areas. And so certainly feel like there's a lot of connections that are kind of natural connections that can help us as well from a recruiting standpoint.
We're talking to Eric Mussleman, who is the new head basketball coach at USC. We announced today that the Trojans are back on ESPNLA for football and both basketball teams, the men and the women. Eric, when you got the job, and this is the nature of any job in men's college basketball now, the transfer portal has really turned everybody on their head. I think you had 3 players, and you had to fill out the rest of the roster. There was a nice article in the LA Times the other day that I live in Manhattan Beach, and apparently you guys bunkered down in Manhattan Beach, all you and your coaches, and basically for a month just tried to recruit and fill out your roster. How did you do that, and what were you looking for when you were looking to fill all those open spots?
Yeah, John, so there's one player that's returning, and then we had to go out and build, a roster of 12 new guys. The story is true. We were living here right next to campus at the USC hotel, and we got a little bit stir crazy being in the hotel. So my wife surprised us, and she said, "Hey, I rented you a place just off the Strand, and it can house like 7 to 8 people. Why don't you get everybody over there, and you guys can work the phones, by the beach on the weekends." And so we took everybody. My son Michael, who's an assistant coach, Will Conroy, Todd Lee, those 3 guys that were assistants, and then Caleb Klein, who came with us from Arkansas. He moved into the house as well, and we just started.
By the way, Eric, there's a sitcom here. You know that, right?
You're in the right town to sell it.
But I will say that out of this story, the one thing is, and that that the LA Times did a piece on it, Orange County Register did a piece on it, and then my assistants, I was like, hey, this has got great publicity for us too nationally, and right away one of the guys said, "Coach, we are not doing this on a yearly basis. Like, don't have any ideas that we're moving out of our homes and going into a rental with you for 30 days every time with the portal season." But yeah, the portal in all sports right now in college athletics, it's kind of like in the pros where you look at, an incoming freshman's like a draft pick almost, and when you go through the portal, a player's got experience, has got a body of work at the Division I level that you can kind of compare. So that's like a a free agent, and then you kind of build your team that way. Two of the guys that joined our team were commits at Arkansas. They were incoming freshmen. And then we had Josh Cohen had committed to us at Arkansas as a center transfer from UMass. So those three guys, came over fairly quickly, and then we had to build the rest of the roster out. But it was really hard to get the first few guys to say yes. And then it kind of slowly came together. But the portal we feel like we were a little bit ahead of the portal game. At Nevada, we thought like it would be really hard to get 5-star McDonald's All-American type players. So we felt the way to build was through the portal. We did that with guys like Cody and Caleb Martin, and then we were eventually by year 4 able to get a McDonald's All-American in Jordan Brown, who was the first 5-star McDonald's All-American to ever play at Nevada. So, and here at USC, the plan is we've got to get 5-star players. We've got to get players that can play in the NBA. The only way to win in the Big Ten is no different than the SEC. You've got to have guys that are NBA draft picks. And off our last team at Arkansas, Anthony Black was a lottery pick. Nick Smith, a late first. Jordan Walsh went early in the second round to Boston, and then Ricky Council ended up being with the Sixers. So 4 guys off one team, 3 of them being one-and-done freshmen. So that is the formula. The portal's awesome, but you've still got to get young incoming freshmen that have pro potential.
Eric, I can't wait for people to see you do your thing. If you've never seen Eric Mussleman coach, it's high energy, it's high enthusiasm. He mentioned his son's an assistant. Danielle's at all the games. Eric, I'm going to get Michael and get his butt out there to the Galen Center so we can say hello to you in person. But most of all, welcome back to LA and welcome to ESPNLA. We're really excited to have you and be rooting for you all the way.
Well, John, thanks so much. Andy, appreciate you guys having me on. I could tell you everybody over here at USC is totally pumped and excited that we're back on ESPNLA. So look forward to the partnership.
Thanks, Eric.
That's
Have a great day, man. Talk to you soon.
Yep, thanks, guys.
There's Eric Mussleman, who, when you see him,